With the PDF you can review the lecture. مثل محمد رشيد قبول كيف تعمل مثل نور كيف نعمل المشاريع وليس لدينا PDF. Okay, Mr. Noor, Mr. Mahmoud Rashid, all of you, inshallah this weekend, for example, this 2 or 3 days, I deliver English PDF for you, okay? English abstract PDF for you. Don't worry. When this PDF shown in your shared screen, okay, inshallah. That's right. Okay, please attention here. We said in timer we have 4 mode of work. Okay, normal, for example, normal mode. In normal mode, for example, for timer 0 is a 8-bit timer. Okay, we start from 0 to top. That means FF for 8-bit. Okay, 255. And after we reach the 255, the end of counting, the next time we have timer overflow and timer restarts from 0. This is normal mode. Okay, 2 flags. Flag timer overflow can be this time in normal mode. Timer overflow is set, and maybe can be started ISR, interrupt service routine, if you configure it. This is normal mode. CTC mode. CTC. What was CTC? CTC is clear timer on compare match. Okay. We start from 0, for example. Then we have the T count register, timer count. Each time the time count is registered in T count. We have another register named OCR, output compare register. For example, we load in it 100. Okay, each time value of T count is equal to value of OCR. We have output compare match. Okay, and maybe output compare match interrupt is activated. This is CTC. This time T count is restarted to 0. CTC, clear timer on compare match. Okay, the second mode, CTC. The next mode, PWM. 2 PWM modes, fast PWM and phase car PWM. Fast PWM as this. For example, timer is counting from 0 to top, to F. This time, this level value of OCR. For example, in OCR, when T count is compare matched with OCR, the state of OC pin is toggled. Okay, from 1 to 0. Then we continue to counting. T count is increase to top, to FF. This time the value of OC output pin is neglected again. Okay, toggled again from 0 to 1, and this item is continuing. That means each upper OCR, each more value of in OCR, more duty cycle. That means by changing the value of OCR, we can change the value of duty cycle percent. That's right. This means fast PWM. Fast PWM. We count from zero. We count from 0 to FF, for example, in timer 0 and timer 2. Then abruptly clear from FF to 0. This is fast PWM. But in phase correct PWM, in this item, we count from 0 to FF, then from FF to 0. Not fast. To 155 to 154 to 153, etc. Okay, but in this item, when timer is T count is reached to OCR, we have a toggle on OC pin. Another one in decreasing mode. Another one we have another toggle on OC pin. That's right. This mode is phase correct PWM. That's right. Okay, I stop sharing. I share my screen. Go to Code Vision. A question when uploading this program. This class time is conflicting with class of Dr. Ghaffarian, class of Dr. Shakur. Dr. Amiri, etc. Is conflict? No. Oh, accent. Okay. This time we are describing about Code Wizard. Code Wizard is very useful tools in Code Vision. Okay. You see this display. Okay. Here in tools, in Code Vision, tools, okay, visual tools for programming, okay? Or generating codes. Here or here, here you see run the Code Wizard AVR, automatic program generator. That's right. Here or here, I click on it. Code Wizard AVR. Target AVR chip family. We select a family. For example, the AVR8, AVR8X, X mega. The first one is okay. AVR 8 mega, 8090. Okay, because this is 80 mega is okay for us. I press OK. You see this display, okay? Code Wizard AVR. For example, untitled file. First item, chip. This item you see chip settings. Okay. Maybe I zoom it. I can zoom it. Okay, chip settings. First of all, I select my chip. This is 80 tiny 10. Okay, for example, I select 80 mega 16, for example. 80 mega 16, okay, hertz, etc. Okay, here for example 1 mega, okay, megahertz, 16 megahertz, etc. Okay, that's right. In program we see generate, save and exit. First of all, we type generate, not generate, save and exit. With you type generate, save and exit, you exit from the program, okay? But we can change the program, add over it, improve it, etc. by generate. Here I type generate. What we see, this program is generated. Include mega16.h header file. That's right, by the system. Void main void. Some items here. While one and end of while and end of main. That's right. Here include mega 16.h. For example, if I 16 to 80 mega 32, that's right, here there isn't any change, but with I this include mega 62, that's right. And if this for example, here port, after chip we see ports, okay, we see here port A, port B, port C, port D. When you select 80 mega 16, we see these 4 ports. 80 mega 32, these 4 ports. Maybe for example select 80 mega 255, 5 ports, A, B, C, D, E. For example, some tiny CPUs, microcontrollers, maybe only port A, okay? Based on chip selected, based on the chip selected, you may port A, B, port A, B, C, port A, B, C, D, port A, B, C, D, E. Okay, here we see 4 ports, and in each port we see 8 bits, okay, bit 0 to bit 7. By default, after reset, by default all of bits from all of ports are inward, okay, inward. We see here in. You can by pressing on it, changing it to outward. Bit 0 from port A, outward. Bit 1 from port A, inward. By pressing outward, inward, outward, in, out, okay? You can configure data direction from port A, then from port B, then from port C and port D. That's right, okay. When a bit is configured as output, we can put over it 0 or 1, okay? Bit outward 0, 1, 0, 1, okay? But in inward, when inward, we have 2 states. P. What's P means? What do we say? No. P. P is for pull up. P, pull up. okay, or pull-up, maybe. Means tri-state, okay, or high Z, high impedance, okay. We said pull-up is internally connecting to PCC by a resistor. Pull-up. Tri-state is not connected to anywhere. Okay, tri-state. That means three states. Okay, not connected from outside to 0, from outside connected to 1. Thus, over each pin from each port, we have four states, out or outward. In outward, 0 or 1. In inward, pull up, right? Okay. In main, here we see some comments. Variables here. For example, we had some functions I mentioned, or global variables can be declared here. Okay, inside main, declare your local variables here. That's right. For example, unsigned character I, J, B, port C, port D, port A. Port A initialization R, DDRA, DDRA 7 0, ORed by DDR6 0, DDR5 0, OR by DDR4 0, OR by DDR3 0, etc. To DDRA, all of them are in inward. Here, functionality, bit 7 inward, bit 6 inward, 5 inward, 2 bit 0, in or inward. That's it. Okay, all of them is 0, port A 7 0, or by 6 0 state. Here I can change these items. For example, in pin 1 is out and 0, pin 7 is out and, for example, 1, pin 6 is out and, for example, 0. Okay, there isn't any change here, but after generating, I press generate, and here bit 0 is outward. Here DDRA, DDA 7 is 1. That means outward. Okay. Bit 6 is outward. DDA 6 is 1. These items are inward. 5 4 3 2. 5 0 4 3 0 2 0, 1 out, 1 1. Okay, 0 in, here 0 0. That's right. Here in comments, bit 7 is outward, bit 6 is outward, bit 5 inward, bit 1 outward, bit 0 inward. State, this item is outward and 1, bit 7 is 1, bit 0 is 0 as here. Okay, bit 4 is tri-state, 3 is tri-state, 2 tri-state, 1 0, 1 outward 0, and 0 inward and tri-state. That's right. از صوت مو واضح؟ مثل نایمه؟ I disconnect my camera, maybe better. I disconnect my camera. Better, I don't know. Mrs. Naime, so it is better or not? There is an enchant, Mrs. Naime? Isn't better sound, my sound? Hello? Continue. Each item change here, we see the result here in the code and in the documentation. Okay? It's better? Maybe. Mrs. Naime, can you go out and go back again? Oh, my internet is okay. My internet quality is okay. Where is my sound here? Sound is okay or not? I stop sharing display. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, let's set the sound. I disconnected the picture. What about my sound? Sound is okay. Mrs. Naime, sound is okay. Okay. That's right. Here I share my screen. Another one you say about my sound. Okay. I disconnected my camera. Okay, Mrs. Naime. Share my screen and you say about sound. What here? What about sound? Sound is okay or not? This time, by sharing the display. Sound is okay. Okay. Mrs. Naime, what about sound? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello. Send a Mr. Ali Abdul Abbas, after all classes I lectures our LMS. Okay. Mr. Ali Abdul Abbas, the link of all recorded classes is put in LMS. Okay, Mr. Ali Abdul Abbas? That's right. We said, first of all, after chip select imports, we can change. Mr. Abbas, I don't know, maybe from your side, Mr. Ali Abdul Abbas. My side internet quality is okay. But Mrs. Noor is typing. Mr. Abdul Abbas. Okay, inshallah. Maybe I put the link of all classes or Telegram. Okay, maybe me or your friends. Inshallah. That's right. Continue. Time is over. Okay. We said data direction and value is from all ports can be changed and set in this portion. Okay. DDR-A port A, DDR-B port B, DDR-C port C, and DDR-D port D. That's right. These items for these 32 pins from 4 ports. That's simply visually can be set here in Code Wizard. Okay. Another item in timer. Okay, timer. For example, for simplicity, I first go to project LCD. Here you see alphanumeric LCD and graphic display. Graphic display means graphic LCD. Okay, we work with character LCD. That means LCD. Okay, maybe more than 80% in market we use character LCD. Okay, in our projects, in our academic projects, in our industrial projects, character LCD, alphanumeric LCD. Okay, I type press over it. Is it enable? I press enable. Okay, here you see these items. Some controllers, 3 controllers. Okay, based of your selected LCD from the market, one of these controllers is okay. That's right. For example, this controller by default. Here, characters per line. For example, 8 character, 12 character, 16 character, 12, 20 character, etc. For example, I type this item. That means 2 by 14. 2 by 14. 2 rows and 16 columns. Okay. Here 2 by 14 character LCD, character or alphanumeric LCD, same. Okay, character, not character, character. That's right. Here I one generate. Okay, you see here include ALCD.h. That means alphanumeric LCD functions. Okay, include ALCD.h by enabling this item. Another one here, go down. Here you see LCD init 16. That means a 2 by 16 character LCD. That's right. Characters per line 16. Here is LCD initialization. Okay. Here's LCD display AVR. You see this item. You see this picture. In this picture, you see a microcontroller connected to an LCD. Okay. Here you see VSS, VDD, and VE. In simulation, you can disconnect this item, but in in the reality, you must connect VDD to 5 voltages, 5 volt, VSS to ground. VE is for backlight light. Okay, for backlight. For example, can be connected by a resistor to VDD. Okay, or by a variable resistor to VDD for changing the backlight. That's right. These 3 pins are control bus, register select, read or write, and enable. Read or write, enable. These 8 pins is for data bus. Okay, but in Code Vision we use only these 3 upper pins. Okay, these pins. Pin 4 that's connected PC4, PC5, PC6, and PC7. These items respectively is connected RS to 0, read or write is to 1, E to 2. Pin 3 is disconnected, no connected. These pins is no connected. In simulation isn't anything, but in reality in hardware you can connect these items to ground. Okay, and these upper pins, these 4 upper pins, this nibble is connected to these 4 upper pins. Okay, here in Code Vision Where is it? No, to code vision here. See, connections. LCD display. RS is connected to port A, bit 0. RD, that means read or read write. RD is connected to port A, bit 1. Enable port A, bit 2. D4, bit 4. D5, bit 5. D6, bit 6. And D7, port A, bit 7. Okay. By default, is connected to port A, but you may connect to port C, port B, port D, etc. Okay. For example, if you want to simulate this file in Pertuis, the LCD is connected to port C. Maybe you remove from here and connect to port A, or in code vision, maybe you change this item to port C, port C, port C, port C, port C. That's right. What about pins? You may connect, you may change this pins, but is anormally. Okay. Normally, this items is okay. RS to 0, read write to 1, enable to 3, pin 2. Pin 3 is not connected. D4 to D5 to D6 is D7 is connected to B4 bit. That's right. Here, for example, please attend to me. For example, I change this item to port C, this item to B, this item to port C, etc. Maybe to connect these 3 items to port C, others to port A. Maybe, but not usual. Okay. After generating, you see here. RS port C bit 0, RD port C bit 1, enable port C bit 2, D4 port A bit 4, okay, etc. Bit port A, port A, port A. You may ask, these items are comments, not code, okay? But in header file here, in ALCD here file, ALCD, okay. When you change these items, some items inside this header file is changing. That's right. Okay. All of them may be the same. For example, port A, port A, port A. Or all of them port C, port C, port C, or port B, port D, etc. This about LCD, okay. Another one, timers. Excuse me. We said we have 3 timers: timer 0, timer 1, and timer 2. Timer 0, timer 1, timer 2, and another timer named watchdog. Okay, but these 3 timers. We said, please tell me about these 3 timers. How many bits these timers have? Please type it. Timer 0, timer 1, timer 2. مثل ماجد مرزوق. مثل ماجد مرزوق رسن. Do you know Bashar Rasan in Istiqlal team? In last times. Bashar Rasan from Iraq players in Istiqlal team, Iran. Are you familiar with Bashar Rasan, Mr. Majid? Do you know Bashar Rasan? Mr. Majid. Okay. All of you, we said timer 0 and timer 2 are 8 bits, but timer 1 is 16 bits. Okay, I type here timer 0 and timer 2 are 8 bits. Okay, timer 0 and timer 1 is 16 bits. That's right. Here timer 0, explain these items. Timer 0 is 8 bit, timer 2 is 8 bit, and timer 1 is 16 bit. Here you see in normal mode top is FF for timer 0. FF means 8 bit. Timer 2 mode normal top is FF, but in timer 1 in normal mode top is FFFF. That means 16 bits. That's right. Okay, here timer 0, VC clock source. Mr. Majid Marzouk, what's okay? I ask from you, do you know Mr. Bashar Rasan? You are Majid Marzouk Rasan or Rasan. Do you know Bashar Rasan, a football player? Bashar Rasan was in Istiqlal team. Okay. Do you know Bashar Rasan? Isn't in Iran? No. Sometimes I go, for example, some years. Bashar Rasan was in Iran. He's a good player, very good player, but isn't in Iran. Maybe in Qatar. Mr. Majid? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Is anyone that don't like football in all of the world? Mr. Rashid. Hey, okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. Here I describe my camera because of quality. Mr. Rashid. All of us expect Mr. Hassan Abbas. This is a good share. All of us expect Mr. Hassan. What I like in the PlayStation. Oh, okay. But I don't know in PlayStation. My sons, Mehrab and Mesbah, PlayStation. Okay. Not in PlayStation, in laptop, are two good players, my sons. But me, no. Oh, okay, that's right. Okay. Go to the next timer 0. Clock source, system clock, or T0 pin falling in rising edge. Okay, we said each timer can work in timer mode or counter mode. Okay, we said timer, counter. Okay, timer, counter. For working in counter, we need a external input pin. For timer 0, we need a T0 pin, T0 input pin. Okay. For counter, and in timer 1, T1 input pin. For timer 1 working it counter mode. Okay, but in T2 timer don't have counter. Instead of it, we see RTC, real time clock. Okay, another one, for example, for establishing 1 milliseconds exactly. Okay, means RTC, real time clock. Timer 0 and timer 1, we have timer and counter modes. Timer and counter. In counter mode, we need a T0. Okay, when T0 and T1 T0 is for normal pen. This item is for config this pin. Rising edge is coming, we count incrementally. Okay, or when falling edge is coming, we increment the counter. These two items is for counter. Okay, but for timer we select system clock. System clock is for timer. T0 is for counter. That's right. Okay, I select system clock for timer. Here, clock value. Some items. If you remember, we had CS. Okay, here in this file, not in this file. Here in this table, you see, I zoom it. You see, TCCR means timer counter control register. Timer counter control register for example, timer 0. Then for timer 1 and then for timer 2. TCCR 0, TCCR 1, TCCR 2. Timer counter control register. You see these 3 pins. Clock select. Okay. Clock select for timer 0, clock select for timer 0, clock select for timer 0, bit 0, bit 1, bit 2. That's right. Here in this table, we see we have 3 bits and 8 states. Okay, 0 0 0 in clock select pins. 0 0 0 means بدون كلاك stopped. Okay, متوقف stopped. 0 0 1 system clock بلا تقسيم بدون تقسيم divided by 1. 2 clock system divided by 8. No, Mr. Ali Abdul Abbas. For a stack pointer, no. For speed up timer. Okay. System clock means, for example, 1 megahertz. This is system clock here. Here in chip select, this is 1 megahertz. This is system clock. Okay, or maybe, for example, 8 megahertz. This is system clock. That's right. Here متوقف stopped clock, the same clock, for example 1 megahertz, 8 megahertz, clock divided by 8, collect divided by 64, collect divided by 256, collect divided by 1000. Okay, these six items 0 to 5 for timer. Okay, for speed of timer, stopped, collect by 8, collect by 64, collect by 200, collect by 1000. Okay, these two items, item 6 and item 7, for counter. 6 means in Persian لبه پایین رونده پالس خارجی means falling edge of T0. These items لبه بالا رونده پالس خارجی means rising edge of external pulse. Okay, falling edge, rising edge. These two items for counter, these 6 items for timer. Okay, here in code vision we see in timer 0, clock source, these two items for counter. Okay, but this item system clock for value, timer stopped means CS 000. Okay, اعداد البرنامج speed of timer. مثال عبدالعباس speed of timer, clock for timer. Okay, not system clock. System clock may be fixed on 8 megahertz. Okay, but timer clock is a pre-scaled of for example clock itself, or clock by 8, or clock divided by 64, etc. That's right. مثال عبدالعباس inshallah. Okay, timer 0, CS 000, clock itself CS 001, clock divided by 8, system clock was 8 megahertz, clock divided by 8 means 1 megahertz. Okay, clock divided by 64, clock divided by 256, clock divided by 1024. That's right. This is for clock value. Here mode, timer mode, we have 4 modes. Normal mode, top is FF. Okay, phase correct PWM mode, top is FF. CTC, clear timer on compare match mode, top is OCR. OCR, a register filled by us, by user. Okay, OCR 0, OCR for timer 0. And fast PWM, top is FF. Okay, normal CTC to PWM, fast PWM and phase correct PWM. These modes here in this file, here for example TCCR, we see these items collect select. These two pins, pin 3 and pin 6, wave generation mode 01 and wave generation mode 00. Okay, these two pins are for selecting the mode. For example, I scale out it. Here, for example, here we see 00 means normal, 01 means PWM phase correct, 10 CTC, clear timer on compare match. But using code vision wizard, we don't need to remember this item. We don't need remember to say CTC mode, phase correct mode, etc. clock speed, we say which of these items. That's right. Here, output, OC pin. Here you see in this in TCCR we see compare match output mode. Compare match yet okay, status of OC compare pin for timer 0 disconnected. Okay, that means IO معمولی, IO normal IO. Okay, that means PB.3 if you remember, disconnected from timer. One toggling in compare match. وضعیت تطابق is Arabic. Persian and Arabic are the same. وضعیت تطابق. Okay. In Iran we say وضعیت تطابق. In Arabic you say وضعیت تطابق. When I was young, okay, we had a Quran session, okay, or Sheikh said Quran is Persian. Quran is Persian. Why? قال هي عصاي. He said يقول عصا قال هي عصاي أتوكأ بها وأهش بها على غنمي. Okay. وضعیت تطابق in Persian and in Arabic. Okay. Toggle OC. When compare match, T count is the same as OCR register. This is compare match state. Okay, the OC pin is toggled. That if was 1, change to 0. If was 0, change to 1. Okay, this item clear in compare match. Clear. This item set in compare match. That's right. Normally, our 80% situations we use this item, toggling. Okay, toggling OC pin, OC output pin. That's right. But here in Code Vision, Code Wizard, output disconnected, by default disconnected. Toggle on compare match, clear on compare match, and set on compare match. Okay, in more than 80% situations we use this item, toggle on compare match, if we need OC pin. Okay, or disconnected or toggle. Maybe some items in some projects clear or set. That's right. Excuse me. Here for overflow interrupt and compare match interrupt. Okay, we see here in this file, I zoomed it. Here on this item is good. Zoom in. TIFR, timer interrupt flag register. Timer interrupt flag register. Okay, interrupt flag register for timers. These two items for timer 0. These two items, these two flag for timer 0. These two flag for timer 2, and these 4 flags for timer overflow for timer 0. مثل Ali Abdul Abbas. Maybe. The time is over. Okay, don't worry. Timer overflow 0 output compare flag, output compare match flag, okay, for timer 0. The same for timer 2. Timer overflow for timer 2, output compare flag for timer 2. That's right. These two items for timer 0 and 2, simple modes. But in timer 1 is more complex. Okay. We go back again here. In here, overflow interrupt. Overflow interrupt. Oh, Mr. Abdul Abbas. You are employed, Mr. Abdul Abbas? You got back from the work or not? Don't be tired. In Iran we say خسته نباشید. What do you say in Arabic? In Iran we say خسته نباشید. Don't be tired. Don't be tired. Or خسته نباشید. صعبان. صعبان. No, what do you say? Don't be صعبان. صعبان maybe. Instead of don't be tired, what do you say in Arabic? متعب, okay. What do you say? Don't be متعب. Maybe for example, لا تكونوا متعب. لا تكونوا متعبين, for example. What do you say? مثال عبد العباس. All of you, what do you say? Okay, Mesode. Okay, what do you say to your friends? In Iran we say, oh, مثال عبد العباس. You don't have, don't be tired. In Iran we more say خسته نباشید, خسته نباشید, خسته نباشید. Don't be tired, don't be tired, don't be tired. What do you say in Arabic to your friends? You don't have this item, don't be tired. غير متعب. غير متعب. كونوا غير متعب. Okay. Okay, they get tired. Don't sleep, please. Don't sleep, please. Be in class. All of you. We said here in this register. We said we have two modes: polling mode and interrupt mode. Okay. For example, when in timer 0 we reached in our flow mode. We reached 255 and then to 0. This is overflow state, okay? And we can configure that microcontroller go to interrupt state, okay? Or maybe we check this flag repeatedly. But in interrupt state, if I configure that micro is request an interrupt, we can go from main to ISR interrupt service routine and execute some tasks. Okay, here in code vision we see overflow interrupt by default isn't activated. Okay, I can press it and this is overflow interrupt. Or here compare match interrupt, you see here output compare flag, okay, for timer 0. You can type config that when compare match the CPU requests an interrupt, okay. Here we check over it, compare match interrupt. But here these are timer interrupt flags, but here timer interrupt mask. Here this register timer interrupt mask, okay. Timer overflow interrupt enable, output compare match interrupt enable for timer 0. Here when you check these two items, okay, you enable or check these two bits. Enable interrupt for timer overflow, for timer 0. Timer overflow interrupt enable for timer 0. Oh, enable for timer 0. That's right. The same for timer 2. Here, timer 2 output interrupt enabled or not enabled. Compare match interrupt enabled or not enabled. That's right. Another one here, timer value, that means T count. We said what مثلا oh okay, this is name. Okay, 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. Okay, T count. You can, for example, fill T count by decimal. For example, 10 hexadecimal or 50 in hexadecimal. Okay, in hexadecimal. That means the timer is starting from 50 in hexadecimal to FF instead of 0 to FF. That's right. And this is OCR. For example, 100. No, in hexadecimal. For example, 20. Okay, that means, for example, in CTC or in two PWMs, fast PWM and phase correct PWM, you start from 0 to FF. Okay, this is OCR 0 that is filled by user. Okay, that's right. Okay, I defined the next project for example, another time. What's the project? PRG3. PRG3. Okay, that means using timers and interrupts. Okay, please attend here. For example, maybe here we don't have any LCD and any keypad, a microcontroller and 2 LED pins, 2 LED. For example, LED connected to PA0 and PA1. Okay, LED1, LED PA0 is blinking each 1 second, and LED2 blinking is 10 seconds. Okay, 2 LEDs, LED1 blinking each 1 second. Okay, and LED2 blinking each 10 seconds. That's right. A simple project, another simple project using timers. For example, timer 0 for LED1 and timer 1 for LED2. Okay, and using interrupts, not polling, interrupts. For example, when T count is when in normal mode, when FF or timer overflow, an interrupt is requested, and in ISR we toggle the LED1. Okay, for timer 2, when interrupt we toggle LED2. That's right. What about deadline? You say deadline maybe May of 5 of 6. Okay, no, okay, this deadline. What's after May? After May, June. June 5 is okay. The time is over and your next class is started maybe. There's any question? That's right. That's right. We defined 2 new projects. Okay, project 2 was no. Project 3 and 4. Project 2 was keyboard and LCD. No. Here project 3. Project 3 is using timers and interrupt. Timer 0 and LED 2 using timer 1. If any question, stop the class. That's right. في أمان الله. في حفظ الله. إن شاء الله. Stop recording. I put a link of recorded class in LMS. Please. Okay? Please attend to it. مخلص مثل رشید. Some dears are typing مثل یاسر. مثل یاسر. Don't go. I read name of you, all of you. مثل ابتسام، مثل احمد فواز، Mrs. علا هاشم، or مثل علا هاشم، مثل علا هاشم، مثل علا هاشم، مثل علا کامل، مثل علی عبدالعباس، مثل عامر سعید، Mrs. بیادر، Mrs. دنا، Mrs. دعا، مثل انتصار، Mrs. لبنا، مثل ماجد، مثل میس، مثل محمد رشید، مثل محمد باقر، مثل Mrs. نعیمه، Mrs. نور، Mr. اودی، Mrs. صفا، مثل یاسر، and مثل سعادت، Mrs. زینب, and مثل حامد محمد. That's right. Goodbye all of you. في امان الله. And end of meeting.